What's up guys, Wilson here and welcome to our latest project, which is for this, a Porsche 991 GT3 Touring. Now before we get into the details for this project, let me give you some backstory about this owner and his purchase of this car. He is the second owner of this, and when he purchased the car, there is pre-existing paint protection film on the entire car already, and what's on here is a pre-cut kit, pre-cut templates for pretty much every panel, and on many of them it's what a lot of other companies would call a quote-unquote custom pre-cut, which essentially is still pre-cut. So what we're going to be doing with this project is we're going to remove all of the pre-existing film, replacing it with ClearGuard Alpha G2, and as you know, this is the exclusive PPF that we're using here at Premier. It's going to be 100% custom installed so that it can be as seamless as possible. So now before we get into the project, I want to show you a couple of detailed shots of why the owner wants this removed, and let's start with the front bumper. Right over here, right around the headlamp washers, you can see where the seam is. There is a sizable gap right over there, and when it gets dirty, you get a black outline of where that film is. Now, as we move lower over here on the front bumper, you can see some areas that are lifting, and right over here is a very typical joining seam that you can expect from pre-cut templates. Moving over here, you see another joining seam that comes here and follows all the way over here and comes up, and right over here, right next to it along this stalk, you can see that joining seam right over there. Now back up to this top part of the front bumper, you can also see that this area right over here has a pretty big gap as well. So any of these frontal impact areas that have these type of gaps will get debris damage over time. Now let's move back here on the front fender and top of the hood area. I want to show you something that is very typical of pre-cut templates, and it is this right over here, these pre-cut notches that exposes these corners and makes these seams very noticeable. Now let's come down here to the bottom side over here. You see that the film is lifting in this area, and there is a lot of dirt collection underneath it already. Now the panel on here that bothers the owner the most is the rear bumper, and this is the reason why. This is a multi-piece installation, just like how the front bumper was, and you can see the seam over here starts over here and it comes straight across and comes up and then follows that line all the way over here. Basically, this template was done so that it could be put together like a big puzzle piece, making installation easier. But the downfall is that the overall aesthetics of the car just doesn't look very good if you have the eye and you notice things like that. So what we're going to do, again, we're going to remove all of the film, get this car full paint correction, move it in, and do our 100% custom installation. And at the very end, check out our whole process. At the very end, I'm going to show you some side-by-side shots of what you see on here right now versus what the final result will be. So check this out.
Safe haven of conversation where we make space and ease our frustrations. Continuation for days and days, and I can just say it, no explanation needed. We just understand what we mean. If only through pictures and memes. Years together, run deep. And sometimes it's just a vibe in group chat therapy. I think I need group chat therapy. Group chat therapy. it's safe to keep us. Sharing our dreams and the whys and reasons. Since our last conversation, my girl's been waiting. And we update them, they're my salvation. When I wanna break down and crash out, they won't. That's what friendship's about. Failure or success, we're a circle of trust. Better send that text, it's a party inside. Sometimes you need solutions and sometimes it's just a vibe. In group chat therapy, I think I need group chat therapy. Group chat therapy. Oh, we listen, we don't judge, we keep it low. A place where you can be free.
Alright guys, this project is completed, so for the rest of this video I'm going to take you on a walk around and show you the final work that is on this car and do a quick comparison to what was on here before. Now, as you may recall, the work that was on here previously was a pre-cut template, and on some panels what others would call a custom pre-cut, which essentially is the same thing. All they're doing is extending edges so that it wraps a little bit more, but it still leaves a lot of areas exposed. So let's take a quick look and comparison. First off, on this area, as you may recall, these corners all had the pre-cut notches, which left paint exposed, and also the seams were exposed on these areas. As you can see, all these corners now are properly wrapped so that you don't have those edges. Now, slightly below that, around the headlamp washer, as you can see that previously there was a sizable gap around that area. Right now, this is as clean of an install as you could get. We brought the film edge directly up against the panel edge so that you don't get to see that seam just randomly around this area. Now, as we make our way lower on this front bumper, you may recall that this area had a seam, a joining seam, which is very typical of pre-cut templates on Porsches. Also over here, there was a seam that just randomly went across, and then into this area, there was quite a bit of seams as well. This was a one-piece custom installation, as you may have seen from our process. And right now, this is as clean as it could get, as seamless as possible. This is actually a very difficult installation, which is why on the pre-cut templates, there were so many joining areas. Now let's take a look at this area as well. Previously there was a big gap over here which left paint exposed, and over time areas like that would definitely get damaged by road debris and just upset a lot of owners because of that. Now let's make our way back to the mirrors. I want to show you this area. The mirrors were done as a one-piece installation. Previously there was a little bit of a gapish around these areas and up around here. On the frontal area, the seam came up about here. Right now, as you can see, we wrap the film as far in as possible so that we maximize protection but hide the seam. And unless you're really bending down and staring in there, you don't really notice that this panel right over here, this mirror, is protected with PPF. Now let's make our way back to the back side, and I want to show you one last panel, which is the rear bumper. The rear bumper along with the front bumper were probably two of the worst installations on this car. And for the rear bumper, the reason being that there was a joining seam that just kind of came across over here, and there were gaps and a lot of dirt buildup right now, just like the front bumper, this was done with one sheet of film without all those relief openings and joining seams that came along with the previous installation. It just looks a lot cleaner that way, and we're maximizing the protective areas on this panel. So guys, as you can see, this entire car is now refreshed. We use ClearGuard Alpha G2, the clearest, best gloss PPF in this entire industry, with super hydrophobicity as well. So it actually is a much higher end film than what was on here previously, and I'm sure the owner will be happy with the results now that he could drive the car with peace of mind and aesthetically not have the film take away from that beautiful look of this Porsche. So guys, I want to thank you for watching another one of our videos, and until the next one, I'll see you soon.